We are going to talk today about a type of oneness terminology which is quite close to Yoga Vedanta, the Indian approach of the Vedas and the Upanishads and of yoga. Now we'll use the term Shiva as the divine, the oneness, the Brahman, the energy from which everything comes and everything goes back to. So I'm not going to go into more the kind of symbolical mythology and so forth. So let's say of Shiva, which also means the benign, the kind one, the one which is totally fulfilled and happy within itself. Nice terminology. So we're going to call it Shiva. And so when in Yoga Vedanta we start getting closer to Shiva, you first start with a mantra, with a prayer. That is Om Namah Shivaya. I salute, I bow before Shiva. And you can do as well some breathing with it and calming yourself and so forth. So at that stage you are still at the level where there is a certain duality. And why not? If you are starting from there, that's where you should start from. But as time progresses, that Om Namah Shivaya becomes an in-breath mantra, which is Shivo Ham. Shivo in Ham. Which means I am Shiva. So some people, particularly in the past with other cultures, from other cultures, when they would hear that, they would go, that's blasphemy. That's horrendous. You're saying you're God? Can you create a universe? Who do you think you are? But that's not what it was meant. That was a terminology used as well, not in Yoga Vedanta, but in as well in the Gnostic traditions, in some Sufi traditions, and so forth. So let's see, when we ask the question, is that the supreme arrogance? Do you think you're God? Or is that the supreme act of surrender and humility? Interesting, isn't it? So, if I say, yes, me, my I, my ego is God, oh dear, no, we don't want anything like that. You're definitely not. Now, the term in those traditions of I am the divine, Shivo Ham, I like that sound, Shivo Ham. It denotes that as you are meditating on Shiva, and your breath goes in and out, and you start becoming calmer. And as you become calmer, you start releasing mental tensions, mental contractions. You start going off many of your stories that you were carrying needlessly with you and coloring your life with sorrow and some kind of heavy feeling and darkness. So you begin to release that, because you realize that's not part of Shiva. You see, the one who is everything, from which everything comes and everything goes, has no conflict, has no reason of duality and of strife, is complete within itself. It's pure joy, it's pure understanding. So there is no conflict, So we'll talk some other time, because there is everything in there, but it comes to a zero, again into tranquility. But let's move on. So when you start receiving this peace within you, when you start receiving this kind of joy of letting go, Not an excitement like, ooh, I got a new car. But it's that joy of getting closer to your true essence and letting go of hankerings and hanging-ons which are so unnecessary. So as you move in that direction, that peace and that joy become deeper and deeper. And in that calmness, you can have more understanding of situations. And you feel very close to the universal law. Do unto others as you would like others to do unto you. So a certain calmness in most situations, not always, but in most situations, starts spreading around you. So when you are saying Shivo Ham, it is not that your ego is starting to have the force and strength of the divine, because that's the ego. And I'm not saying ego in a bad way, but I'm Carlito as a child. I'm human. I have a body, I'm a drop. In the ocean, but I'm a drop. So you don't have that misunderstanding. What you are instead experiencing is a surrendering to that presence, a surrendering to that state of peace within you, till it starts becoming more and more of an awareness that you are that peace. I am that peace. I totally let myself go into it. That is the most precious thing in life, and I relax into it. Because it's not a question, you cannot grasp it. You cannot say, hey, peace, come here, But is as you are relaxing and letting go into it, to the rhythm of this Shivo Ham, then that calmness starts coming into you, physically, into your body, in your breath, and in your mind, and in your emotions. So it is the right answer. It is the highest act of surrender, and in a way of humility. You see? But it has to be understood correctly. Otherwise, I see very often people being led astray, and it's really, me, I am Shiva. It actually means all there is within me, more and more, is Shiva. And that still some I remains. I mean, I'm Carlito, I'm Italian, I still have got some time to remain in this world, So as long as I am there, I'm the ocean experiencing itself as a drop. And that's fine, the drop is okay, you see. But this drop has surrendered to its source, to the ocean. And that is Shivo Ham. Okay, so I hope I've clarified a little bit this concept, of oneness, So in merger there is a sense of humility, not a sense of becoming boom, 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 beating your chest. So Om Namah Shivaya, and thanks for listening.